Hey, John,
Yes, Eric.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Aye, aye, Captain. You don't think of SpongeBob when you hear that stupid fucking song?
No. See, this is why you keep me honest. I never associated the introduction of SpongeBob SquarePants with the introduction of the first Korn album. Now I do. Now I do. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. I really hope that you truly are ready for something. You know, we have been toiling away at this podcasting thing for 5 seasons now.
Wow.
That is a lot of freaking heavy metal. And I think, perhaps, I might be mistaken. I'm looking forward to getting your thoughts on this. I think you might feel differently, but I think it's time for something new. Now, to be crystal clear, that is new, spelled N-U with an umlaut. New. You see, today, my friends, we are crossing the Rubicon and emerging directly into the black-beating heart of 1990s heavy metal. On this episode, we're going to explore quite possibly the biggest heavy metal movement of that entire, admittedly complicated decade. The aforementioned new metal. John, you have recently had some amount of time in which to bathe your ears in the majestic radiance of the music of an assortment of Eric-curated 90s new metal masters. Speaking generally, and maybe gently, relatively, what are your thoughts on this compelling synthesis of heavy metal alongside elements of hip-hop, funk, grunge, and oodles of male teen angst?
Depending on how much of my thoughts you have cut from past podcast episodes, I have long expressed the concern that the 90s was the single worst decade of music in the history of time, and this bore that out. This was unequivocally the worst collection of shit you have made me listen to in the 5 seasons of this podcast.
So, is it fair to suggest that you are, at least as of this discussion, not a new metal fan?
That is correct.
All right. Well, maybe a little bit of context, a little bit of information, maybe a little edumacation. It could change your outlook. Maybe you'll think differently by the time we're done here.
It won't. No.
Well, new metal is sort of the younger and distinctly less tough, baggy jeans wearing cousin of a subgenre we actually discussed quite recently here on HM 101, groove metal. Now, John, if I recall correctly, I don't believe you were terribly enthusiastic about that particular subgenre either, no?
That is accurate. I've already purged it from my memory, leaving only a little recollection of hatred.
So you know you hate it. Do you think that you can definitively say that you hate new metal more than groove metal?
Absolutely.
Ooh, all right. All right, that's good to know. I appreciate your confidence in that assessment. Since groove metal and new metal have so much in common, I actually thought it might be helpful to kick things off by spending a little bit of time clarifying some of the similarities and some of the differences between these two contemporary subgenres. John, please tell me if the following explanation sounds right to you based upon your own listening experiences to date. While both groove metal and nu metal feature down-tuned, heavily syncopated guitar riffs, generally slower tempos than those associated with thrash metal, and complex, groovy drumming, nu metal is much more directly influenced by hip-hop, often including a DJ in the lineup and elements of rap in the vocal delivery. That is as opposed to groove metal. Now also, in what I could only imagine, although maybe I was mistaken, to be John-friendly news, nu metal vocals are typically not nearly so harsh as those found in groove metal. Nu metal also tends to dispense entirely with that iconic heavy metal staple, ye olden guitar solo. So John, does that all seem more or less to jibe with what you heard on your playlist?
I think that is an accurate description of what I heard.
Okay. And you liked it a little bit.
No, I hated. Let me be so clear. Like, even in past pieces that I have hated, I have been able to begrudgingly find things that I thought were, like, noteworthy even though they weren't for me. Like, even in the awful screamy metal, while I hate the vocals and I can't follow it, I can respect the skill in the music making. Every single aspect of every single song you made me listen to for this was shit. Nothing was worth the time spent, and I hate that I had to hear it.
Well, I'm genuinely sorry to have caused you so much distress. I'm a little surprised. I mentioned this to you earlier. I kind of thought maybe the latter portion of the playlist would suit your fancy a bit more, but apparently it wasn't your thing.
That is putting it mildly.
Well, in the interest of adding a bit of hopefully helpful historic context, I will say that the first use of this adjective, new, used to describe the sound and image of that particular subspecies of heavy metal, which is under discussion today, it came to us via a 1996 Spin magazine review of a concert by the gothic nu metal band Coal Chamber. John, did you happen to read that article back in 1996, or did you miss that issue?
I was 5.
I mean, that's not an answer to my question.
Well, I'm not going to answer it further.
All right. I will say I was a devotee of Spin magazine back in the 90s. As someone who's always hated Rolling Stones, Spin was kind of my music periodical of choice at that time. But that's neither here nor there. Regardless, I think we've already answered this question, and I'm not sure that you're comfortable taking either side. But would you describe yourself at this point as Team Groove Metal or Team Nu Metal?
I would describe myself as team rooting for the comet to destroy the entire planet.
And that's very on brand. I could see that. This will probably surprise a lot of our listeners, but generally I actually prefer nu metal to groove metal. I think a ton of it is derivative and truly fucking awful. But I really like the best nu metal bands. A lot. And groove metal's great too. Don't get me wrong. I love both KORN and Gojira.
Yeah.
John, you might say that I, comfortably, play for both teams. Would you say that about me?
I think I'd comfortably say you swing both ways.
Heyo! Alrighty. Well, listeners, you do not need to trust the words of John or I regarding distinctions between groove metal and nu metal. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, beloved non-binary listener. None of ya. John and I are shady characters and should seldom be trusted. Instead, how about we let some music and some images do the talking? John, how does that sound?
No. I mean, yes, no one should trust us, but the thought of having to listen to more of this just makes me want to jump in front of traffic.
This is different. You're going to actually get to see it in action this time.
Oh, I'm sure that will make all the difference. I'm sure what was missing from the music was the visuals.
I think this is going to make it all come together for you. I absolutely do. All right. Well, you see, folks, in 1999, Machinehead, a significant groove metal band who we have previously discussed here on HM 101, released the album The Burning Red, an album which was nu metal through and through. That unusual happenstance affords us the perfect opportunity to explore the differences in nu metal and groove metal through the lens of just one single band. As such, I have included links to 2 music videos in this episode's notes. This will further illustrate some of the unique aspects of these 2 subgenres via some starkly contrasting visual aesthetics as well. Okay then. Let's take an early double video break now in order to clarify what nu metal really is via a direct comparison with its cousin, groove metal. The first link is to From This Day from The Burning Red. Therein, witness Machinehead going all in on nu metal. The second link is to Locust from Machinehead's excellent 2011 album, Unto the Locust. This song and video illustrate the band cozily re-ensconced within the warm embrace of groove metal. Pause the podcast, click each of the links, watch the videos, and John and I will be back on the other side, ready to get seriously serious about this whole nu metal thing. Seriously. John! Would you agree that there are some rather striking visual and auditory differences between nu metal Machinehead and groove metal Machinehead, as illustrated by the two videos we just watched?
Well, that is a statement I would agree with.
Ah! All right. Did you have any preference between the two sounds and images?
Oh, God, yes. I mean, look, so literally, again, let me be clear. Every single aspect of the nu metal song sucked. The way they looked, the way it was filmed, the shitty ass graphics, and then all the playing, all the musical content, all the lyrics, everything was shit. Just complete trash. Should not exist. With Locust, the song is stupid. Like the words and the plot is dumb. But at least the instrumentals were interesting and compelling, so I could enjoy that. The video was obviously a very different aesthetic. I didn't like it. It looked weird and kind of low budget, but I don't assume that heavy metal people are loaded and spending great amounts on their music videos.
That's probably fair. I mean, so I will admit that, I have already been on the record saying that I actually really do love a lot of nu metal. I will say Machinehead's nu metal is awful, and Machinehead's groove metal I think is pretty great. So maybe I'm loading the deck against my argument that nu metal has value here, but certainly I think that the differences between the two are clearly on display, regardless of whether one enjoys them or not. Is that fair?
Yes, we can definitely hear the differences, and we are all definitely now aware that nu metal sucks, and I think we could just wrap it up there and move on with our lives.
You ready to call it a day?
Yeah, podcast complete. Everyone, nu metal sucks. Don't listen to it. Leave this world happier.
Maybe we can do the John cut as a Patreon release.
All of the episodes are 15 seconds long.
This sucks! Have a good night.
And then there's a 3-hour special on whatever that Christian band was that I like for reasons that are still inexplicable to me.
Stryper! Oh, we're gonna have a huge... Talk about a Patreon exclusive. John and Eric deep dive Stryper. It's gonna be a miracle. Fucking miracle.
Jewish guy and the atheist dive deep on Stryper.
Okay. I think we have now thoroughly established the aesthetic fundamentals at play here today. So let's us move this show along and introduce the band that got the nu metal ball a-rolling in the very first place.
Part 1. This is what happens when heavy metal incubates in Bakersfield, California.
Ah, Bakersfield. John, have you ever been to Bakersfield?
I've been to a lot of California. I'm not confident that I've been to Bakersfield. I certainly don't know anything about Bakersfield.
Well, for context, no less a personage than the late, great Johnny Carson was known oft to refer to Bakersfield as, quote, the armpit of California.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
My own experiences with Bakersfield are also of it as something of a shithole, but I just did a little bit of further research just for fun, and I found this very informative quote about Bakersfield as posted to Reddit.
Ah, Reddit, the source of all scholarly material.
Indeed!
Quote! As someone who just moved here for work coming from the Midwest, I feel like there are homeless everywhere and lots of stray dogs/cats. The air quality is some of the worst in the country. The summer heat is brutal. The landscape is dirt everywhere you look. There are not many amenities in/near the town. Anything exciting/entertaining is at least 2 hours away.
Delightful!
I mean, they're really selling me on it.
Right, it's clearly the Bakersfield Tourist Bureau Reddit page. Does this not sound like the perfect breeding ground for angsty, world-changing heavy metal?
You know, it sounds like a place where everything sucks. And so it makes sense that music that totally sucks might come from here.
Well, look, if nothing else, Bakersfield, a city within Kern, Kern, County, California, indeed was the breeding ground for unarguably the most significant of the early nu metal innovators, the band KORN. KORN. Over the course of their 30-plus years of existence, KORN has sold approximately 50 million albums worldwide. Along the way, they also more or less single-handedly invented one of the 1990s most significant and one of John's most beloved heavy metal subgenres. John, my delightful co-host, lover of nu metal, friend, what was your level of familiarity with the band KORN prior to your preparatory listening for this episode?
My familiarity with KORN prior to this was T-shirts worn by the kids who were proud about not being popular in middle and high school. And that was the extent of my knowledge about this band.
Ah, I like it. Perfect. Now, via your playlist, you have now had the opportunity to listen to 3 of KORN's finest songs from the 1990s. I think we know the answer to this, but what did you think of their particular formative iteration of this crazy little thing we call nu metal?
Hated it.
Did you hate it more, less, or the same as everything else?
I hated everything to the exact same level of disdain. I will say, as the playlist went on, I liked things less and less, but I think that was just because the fury was building in my body.
All right, I see. So, by that logic, however, we can ascertain that KORN is currently your favorite nu metal band since they were first on the playlist, right?
I guess that is a technically correct statement.
I'm going to put that in the press release for this episode. John's favorite nu metal band, KORN. Perfect. Now, my own relationship with nu metal as a whole has always been somewhat fraught. I mean, I think that's true of most metalheads of my generation. But I've loved KORN at least since the release of their 3rd album, Follow the Leader. And I continue to love them to this day. I actually think that they've made appreciably stronger music in the 21st century than they did back in the 20th. But regardless of opinions and crap like that, KORN are fucking important. And so, without further ado, let's us talk about the story of KORN. But wait! Before going any further, John, please allow me to martyr myself by noting that as a part of my research for this episode, I read the entire memoir written by KORN's bassist, Fieldy, entitled Got the Life, which was, you'll be unsurprised to note, perhaps the single worst music-adjacent book I have read in my entire fucking life. John, does that surprise you?
No, not at all.
So, I want you to always remember this. I suffer for our fans, and I do it gladly.
Eric, no one asks you to do any of this. You do all of this voluntarily.
I'm a martyr! I'm a lot like Jesus.
It's a wild claim.
We both like Stryper. Jesus-esque. Okay. Back to the story of KORN.
The story of KORN begins, oddly enough, with a funk metal band called LAPD and a thrash metal guitarist and producer named Ross Robinson.
Ross Robinson, the godfather of nu metal, an important personage. Please continue.
Robinson met LAPD, a band consisting of 3 future KORN members, guitarist James Monkey Schaefer, bassist Reginald Fieldy Arvizu, and drummer David Silveria, when his band played a gig with them in Los Angeles. LAPD broke up shortly thereafter, and Monkey, Fieldy, and Silveria joined forces with future KORN guitarist Brian Head Welch to form a new Alice in Chains-esque band called Creep. Robinson would go on to produce that band's 1993 self-titled demo.
Which is available on YouTube and is a fascinating listen. Sounds like Alice in Korn, or perhaps Korn in Chains. Regardless, I digress.
When Creep ditched their singer, they turned to fellow Bakersfieldian Jonathan Davis and changed their name to KORN.
Now, for the record, when somebody suggested KORN as a band name, everybody agreed that it was dumb. Which is fair, because it is dumb. John, you agree that it's dumb?
I mean, sure.
You think it's all dumb?
I think it's all dumb. Yeah.
Eventually, they became KORN with a K, and usually also with a backwards R, and everyone lived happily ever after. And the iconic nu metal pioneers we came to know and love, they were officially a thing. Stupid name and all. Ross Robinson produced KORN's 1993 4-track demo, Nadermeyer's Mind, and later that same year the band was signed to Immortal/Epic Records. Boom! Just like that. Which brings us to...
KORN continued. The self-titled debut and Life is Peachy.
In 1994, KORN recorded their epoch-defining self-titled debut with Ross Robinson once again producing, and it was released on October 11th of that same year. I present now a couple of relevant, important details for your consideration. 1. The bands who influenced KORN's nascent sound the most included a slew of alternative metal acts, Faith No More, Alice in Chains, and Nine Inch Nails, alternative rock groups, the Red Hot Chili Peppers and The Cure, and hip-hop ensembles, Cypress Hill and NWA. It was from this heady mix that KORN's unique sound, the sound of nu metal to come, would emerge. 2. These guys were very fucking angsty. Lyrical themes such as sexual abuse, bullying, drug addiction, etc. are found sprinkled throughout the debut, which concludes with the sound of singer Jonathan Davis weeping loudly for a full 90 seconds at the end of the track, Daddy. Of this infamous moment, Davis said, quote,
People think Daddy was written because my father abused me, but that's not what the song's about. When I was a kid, I was being abused by someone else. I don't really like to talk about that song.
It's heavy stuff. Heavy stuff. And yet, praised be, KORN also fucking rocked, with a tight, funky rhythm section, powerhouse groovy riffs, and a slew of post-Rage Against the Machine-style guitar sonics that emulated the sorts of sounds more generally associated with hip-hop than metal. Also, when he wasn't busily descending into tears, Jonathan Davis proved himself rather a magnetic and wildly unique vocalist. John, I'm curious. Do you have any thoughts specifically about the very first track you heard on your playlist? The first nu metal sounds of your nu metal day. Also the opening track from their debut album, the song Blind.
I didn't like it. And then every subsequent thing within the song made me like it less. It was actually kind of amazing to hear how these songs were constructed in such a way that they get progressively more annoying and worse as they go. It is honestly kind of impressive.
All right. A bit of a compliment in a dark and sardonic way, but still, I'll take it. I'll take it. That particular track, I should note, of course, it opens with the iconic question, "Are you ready?" Which I thought was super cool until John pointed out to me that we associate it now with SpongeBob SquarePants. Thank you for ruining that, John.
Hey, you're welcome. In defense of KORN, they did it first. I checked. That album came out 5 years before SpongeBob came out.
Hell yeah. Hence my lack of association. But still, it's ruined forever. Because of John.
Good. You're welcome. Honestly, your life will be better without it.
Maybe so. Maybe so. The question was, are you ready? And, well, I might not have been. Many people were. At that time, I wasn't totally sold on KORN. I was a little still into the old metal and distrustful of the new, but much of the world around me was. The debut originally peaked at number 72 on the Billboard charts, and it would eventually certify double platinum, which is not too shabby. though much bigger things were to come. Now, before going any further, let's allow our wonderful listening public the opportunity to experience, as John did, the cutting edge of this new, circa 1994, hip-hop inflected approach to heavy metal via KORN and that legendary aforementioned track, Blind, via an official listening break. Listeners, pause the podcast and click the link. On the other side, John and I will tell you all about KORN's sophomore release, and John will present us with a warmly compelling monologue about how life really is peachy.
I just want to remind you all that you have free will and you can stop this at any time and you don't have to do what Eric tells you.
Shut up, John! Shut up! Damn it.
A sophomore slump? Life is peachy. Life is peachy.
I have never quite managed to find true love within my cold black heart for KORN's second album. It's basically a still more overtly hip-hop influenced iteration of the sound found on the debut. It features an introductory track with singer Jonathan Davis at his most delightfully unhinged, a fun cover of the Ice Cube song Wicked, and includes KORN's first Grammy-nominated song, No Place to Hide. And yet, this album has always left me a little bit cold. Anyhow, Life is Peachy, which was released on October 15th, 1996, most definitely solidified KORN as true up-and-coming superstars. It debuted at number 3 on the US Billboard charts and made it all the way to number 1 in, of all places, New Zealand. John! New Zealand. Get it? Get it?
Absolutely fuck you.
This was yet another Ross Robinson-produced joint, and to date, Life is Peachy has moved approximately 6 million units. None to John, I imagine.
That's insane. That is insane.
A lot of people got it. That, I think, is pretty impressive for a band that had not yet reached its commercial peak. John, you sounded shocked. Would you agree that's pretty impressive?
I cannot believe that many people paid their hard-earned money to hear this.
So many people.
I mean, this is just proof that people are idiots and should not be trusted.
Speaking of KORN's growing commercial appeal, it is worth noting that in 1997, they were main stage performers on that year's iteration of Lollapalooza. Now, John, that's our second Lollapalooza reference in the past 2 episodes. Could anything possibly be more 90s than a Lollapalooza reference?
Are we going to do the Friends theme song?
That's pretty good. Yeah. Little bell goes off. Winner! Woo! Nice. You win a copy of Life is Peachy.
Oh, God. Everything is awful.
Anyway, no listening break this time around, folks. But if you're interested, to my mind, the best tune of the bunch on Life is Peachy is probably Good God. That is the song herein that to me most seems to point the way forward to KORN to come. Speaking of which...
KORN goes supernova. Follow the leader, Issues, and a broken-hearted collegiate Eric hopping his way at long last onto the KORN bandwagon.
Aww. We have other bands to get to, but we certainly can't move on from KORN without mentioning their 2 biggest albums, Follow the Leader from 1998 and Issues from 1999. John, combined, these 2 albums have sold over 27 million copies worldwide. As such, I can only assume that you own copies of one or both of these, right?
I have never and will never spent money on KORN or any other new metal music.
Yikes! For the record, I have copies of both those albums. But it's now time for a vanishingly brief edition of John's favorite category here on HM 101, Eric's Heavy Metal Autobiography Corner. 2 things happened at the end of the 1990s which finally got me, your beloved host, over my anti-nu metal snobbery and led directly to my becoming an honest-to-goodness KORN fan. 1. On August 10th, 1998, KORN released the second single from Follow the Leader, the absolutely fabulous track, Got the Life. 2. Not too terribly long after that, my alt-rocking, cure-loving college girlfriend and I broke up, and I was desperately in need of some loud, angsty music which I knew that she would intensely hate in my life. And thus began my lifelong love affair with KORN. Now, back to the story of KORN, already in progress.
Follow the Leader, KORN's third album, was released on August 18th, 1998. This was the band's first album not produced by Ross Robinson, who had moved on to other nu metal pastures. The more elaborate, polished production style brought in by producers Steve Thompson and Toby White worked wonders. Follow the Leader hit number 1 on the popular music charts in the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand.
Which Zealand is that, John? So, John, I included not 1, but 2 of the iconic singles from this album on your playlist. The aforementioned Got the Life, and arguably KORN's most popular song, Freak on a Leash. Clearly you hated them both.
Yes.
But you want to tell us why? Got the Life is so great. It's not even like nu metal-y. It's...
No, nothing is great, Eric. There is nothing great on any of this. It is all mediocre at best.
I mean, it's pretty nu metal and he goes like, boo baka da boo baka da boo baka da, and does all that stuff. That's pretty nu metal-y. I like it when he does that.
Yeah, what a fuckhead. What a stupid shithole. It's all trash.
As much as you didn't like this, a song that I generously did not include on your playlist was the album's first single, which is the very dated clusterfuck, All in the Family, a faux rap battle between Jonathan Davis and Limp Bizkit singer Fred Durst. John, you are welcome for that kindly omission.
I mean, thanks, I guess.
You're welcome. It's good. I felt like we had a moment there. That was nice. Aww. We really do need to move this voyage along to our next stop. So I'll just quickly wrap up our KORN narrative with 2 last important bits. 1. In 1998, KORN initiated the first of their Family Values tours, which featured KORN as headliners supported by Limp Bizkit, Ice Cube, Incubus, Orgy, and Rammstein. Fun! 2. KORN's final release of the decade, Issues, came out on November 16th, 1999. As with Life is Peachy, this was an album that never quite resonated with me as much as some of their others, but as with so many things I don't especially love, it, of course, hit number 1 on the Billboard charts and was a massive, titanic, huge mega hit. All that having been said, I do have an Issues-related fun fact. John, could you do me a solid and share my Issues-related fun fact with the nice people?
In celebration of the release of Issues, KORN performed the entire album live at the Apollo Theater in New York. This would be only the second time a rock band had performed at that legendary venue since Buddy Holly and the Crickets all the way back in the 1950s.
The Apollo! Nifty. Anywho, we leave KORN as a band with multiple number 1 albums, the founders of both a significant metal subgenre, nu metal, and a massive tour package, Family Values, and sitting pretty as arguably the biggest band in heavy music as the century drew to a close and the inevitable societal collapse of Y2K loomed large. John, I'm sure they'll be back at some point, but until then, are you gonna miss KORN or what?
Absolutely not.
Why don't you transition us to the next part of this episode via a deeply emotional recitation of some of the lyrics from the KORN hit Freak on a Leash? That, I think, would be lovely.
I hate you. Something takes a part of me. Something lost and never seen. Every time I start to believe something's raped and taken from me. Life's gotta always be messy.
You want to see the lights?
Can't they chill and let me be free? Can't I take away all this pain? I try to every night, all in vain, all in vain. It's like shit 8th grade poetry. It's so bad. You can't tell me you actually like this. You like this. You think this is good.
I do. I think Freak on a Leash is a great song.
God, you are a fucking idiot.
I think we're definitely at part 2 now.
Part 2. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
So, you thought that Bakersfield, California was a stinking hell pit. Well, get ready for Jacksonville, Florida!
Duval.
Nice. Very timely. Anyhow, John, as you just said, for every action there is indeed an equal and opposite reaction. It was Sir Isaac Newton who first noted this, his third law of motion, in 1687. Allow me to explain, if you will, how this applies to nu metal. In my hypothesis, KORN, who I believe are a great fucking band, they represent an action. That action being the founding of nu metal. The equal and opposite reaction is represented by Limp Bizkit, an incredibly popular nu metal band who, with a few notable exceptions, are utterly fucking awful. John! I ask this only because it's in the script.
Yep.
And it titillates me to do so. Are you, my friend, a Limp Bizkit fan?
Fuck no.
Were you familiar with the existence of Limp Bizkit before this?
So obviously I have heard the name because who hasn't heard that name, but I could not have possibly sung you a bit of their music.
Now, could you sing us a bit of their music?
I can do the meme. It's just one of those days.
Oh, that was good. Love it. That's going to be my new ringtone.
I knew that as a meme. I did not know that was a Limp Bizkit song.
Look at this. You've come full circle in life. Your memes now have context. That's beautiful.
It's awful. It's not how memes are supposed to work.
Probably not. Okay. I will keep this mercifully brief, but it is at long last time for Heavy Metal 101 to talk about Limp Bizkit.
1994. Limp Bizkit are founded by singer-rapper Fred Durst, drummer John Otto, and bassist Sam Rivers.
Rest in peace, Sam.
In Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville, a town periodically referred to as the armpit of Florida. Huzzah! Anyhow, the non-turntablist lineup of Limp Bizkit would be completed with the addition of guitarist and delightfully eccentric weirdo Wes Borland. John, I try not to spend too terribly much time and energy on being a negative dick here on HM 101.
Yeah, that's my job.
Absolutely, and I don't want to step on your toes. This is why we don't generally cover bands I dislike. But today we are making an exception, as Limp Bizkit are indeed a band I dislike. Mostly. That said, if you are out there listening and you're a fan, more power to you. Different strokes for different folks, right, John?
Look, I try to live my life by the idea of not yucking other people's yums, but fuck all y'all who like this.
Yums yucked. Now, John, I put 2 of Limp Bizkit's very finest musical moments onto your playlist, and I mean that. I think this is the best it gets. 1, their fun-filled cover of George Michael's Faith, and 2, their very best song, the pretty much perfect encapsulation of young white dude rage that is Break Stuff. Did you have any particular thoughts about those 2 particular tracks? I mean, what did you think of the cover of Faith? That must have struck you as somewhat different from everything else.
It was all bad, right? Like, just, again, I hate to just boil it all down to this, but on every single song that I listened to, from top to bottom, every aspect of it was not good. And so you could ask...
When he went, it's just one of those days!
Yeah,
it's all about the he said.
Oh my God, shut up. Go take your whiny bitch-ass self and jump in front of a bus if that's how you feel. My God, I do not care.
John doesn't have time for Fred Durst's bullshit.
No.
Well, Fred Durst claims that he specifically chose the name Limp Bizkit because the name Limp Bizkit sucks. Which is an interesting approach. According to Durst, quote,
"The name is there to turn people's heads away. A lot of people pick up the disc and go, Limp Bizkit? Oh, they must suck. Those are the people that we don't even want listening to our music." So, look, he doesn't want me here, Eric. Why did you drag me into this? You're going against the man's wishes.
I don't have time for Fred Durst bullshit either, John. Just one of those days.
So bad.
I learned all about Limp Bizkit's getting their foot into the proverbial music career door via the endless corridor of horrors that was Korn bassist Fieldy's memoir. Which I'll remind everybody is literally the worst book ever written about anything, but particularly sort of about music. Also sort of about God. It's a terrible book. You'll hate God and music if you read it.
I gotta ask, like, whatever that memoir was called, and then Mein Kampf.
I mean, in terms of, like, negative contributions to society, I'm going to have to give it to Herr Hitler.
Okay, all right. Just making sure.
In his memoir, Fieldy relayed the story of a young, unknown Fred Durst inviting members of Korn out following a show that they had just played in Jacksonville and generously offering to tattoo them for free.
Note, before being a bad rapper, Fred Durst was apparently a bad tattoo artist.
To make a long story short, this eventually would lead to Fieldy listening to Limp Bizkit's demo and thereafter becoming an advocate for the band. Connections, John. What shitty stuff can we do for famous people so that they will advocate for our podcast?
I have no useful skills. Do you have any skills?
I don't think I have any. I don't know. Useful skills? I'm really good at tetherball.
Really?
Like, surprisingly good at tetherball. Yeah. For someone of my height.
That is surprising.
Yeah. You think that'll do it?
Probably not.
All right. Well, back to the drawing board. Not long after all of this, Limp Bizkit upped their nu metal quotient exponentially by adding Lior Dimont, a.k.a. DJ Lethal, as a permanent member on the turntable. Eventually, they got themselves signed to a record deal and, through the intervention of their fairy godmother, Fieldy, secured the services of the godfather of nu metal himself, Ross Robinson, to produce their debut album.
July 1st, 1997, Limp Bizkit released their first album. I just don't even know what to do with that instruction. Eric has written the instruction white rapper guy voice. And is that Hamilton? Like,
yes,
what do you want from me?
Do it like Hamilton.
That was me. That was a low blow.
I want you to sound like Lin-Manuel Miranda for your white rapper guy voice.
$3 bill, y'all.
It'll do. Wrap it. We're done.
God. Do we need to mention that Bizkit is spelled Bizkit? Just in case someone doesn't know.
Because they're trying to search them out so that they can enjoy more of their music. Yes, in case anyone doesn't know, Bizkit is indeed spelled Bizkit.
Absolute bullshit. God. I mean, mission accomplished in terms of what he claims to have wanted to do.
You're turned off, you're walking away without the disc in hand?
100%.
Well, this might make you feel a little bit better. I do not like $3 bill, y'all. At all. Not even a little bit. Does my disdain, my utter hatred, nearly. Yeah, I hate $3 bill, y'all by Limp Bizkit. Does that make you feel a kinship? And even, dare I say, a love for me that you never had previously imagined was possible?
No, Eric, I think if you had tried to defend this, we literally wouldn't be able to continue the show. I think I would just simply have to leave.
Even with the Stryper bond that we have, that wouldn't hold us together?
The awfulness of Limp Bizkit is such awfulness that not even Stryper could save us.
I feel like a goose just walked over my grave. I really don't have too much else to say.
And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next year.
One of these days I'm going to have a seizure during one of these episodes. Okay. I really don't have too much else to say about $3 Bill, y'all. I will note that the Faith cover, which is my favorite thing on this otherwise pretty awful album, actually almost wasn't included, as producer Robinson was not at all into the idea and repeatedly attempted to convince the band to ditch it. It would be the video for that very song which would break the band big, leading to the album certifying platinum and peaking at number 22 on ye olden Billboard charts. However, it would be their sophomore release, which would make Limp Bizkit, God fucking help us, one of the biggest bands in the entire world.
June 22nd, 1999. Limp Bizkit release Significant Other.
They did it all for the Nookie, John.
Come on.
The Nookie.
Come on. This is so dumb.
So you can take that cookie and stick it up your...
God, it's so fucking stupid. I feel like even talking about this music, I am getting dumber.
It's probably true. You seem dumber. Not gonna lie. But anyway, Significant Other was Limp Bizkit's Billboard-topping, 16 million copy selling, world-beating mega hit album extraordinaire. This feat was achieved primarily on the strength of the hit singles Nookie, Rearranged, In Together Now, and of course, Break Stuff. In candor, this is yet another Limp Bizkit album which I've never, as a totality, been able to find much love in my heart for. Still, Significant Other definitely does have its moments, and it is impossible to deny how much a part of the zeitgeist Limp Bizkit were in this fin de siècle period, as the world nervously awaited the certain doom which was about to come with the impending arrival of Y2K. And speaking of certain doom...
July 23rd to July 25th, 1999, Woodstock, 99.
John, what, if anything, do you know about the epic clusterfuck that was Woodstock 99?
I don't know anything about this.
Oh, you're going to enjoy this. Whew. Woodstock 99 was the second time in that decade in which efforts were made to recreate the legendary 1969 Woodstock Festival for a new generation. The 99 iteration was held in Rome, New York, on the grounds of the former Griffiths Air Force Base. It is mostly remembered for being a total disaster in which chaos, violence, and vandalism stood in for the peace and love with which the original Woodstock had been associated. And much of that chaos, violence, and vandalism is directly associated with Limp Bizkit's July 24th performance. But before we get to that, John, Mike, could you explain a few of the underlying issues which laid the groundwork for the debacle that would ensue after Limp Bizkit took the stage?
Why, Eric, I would be happy to explain some underlying issues about this thing I just mentioned I know nothing about. Underlying issues which led to the calamity that was Woodstock 99, besides Fred Durst and his big stupid mouth. Number 1. The local temperatures over the course of the festival weekend were consistently over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature issues were exacerbated by the location, which was essentially a gigantic slab of concrete with almost no available shade. Number 2. The concessions were overpriced to begin with a bottle of water selling for $4 at the start of the festival.
That's more than $7.50 per bottle in today's economy.
As the festival continued, price gouging became de rigueur, and by the final day of the festival, a single bottle of water was selling for $12.
That would be about $23 per bottle today, which is pretty fucking nuts.
Number 3, worse still, there simply were not enough toilets for the 220,000 people who attended the festival, which led to what toilets there were overflowing with raw sewage and spilling into the camping area. Number 4, instead of hiring professional security for the event, the organizers sourced security jobs via a local temp agency. There were 1,100 Peace Patrol guards with no prior experience tasked with providing security for over 200,000 hot, stinky, thirsty, and increasingly angry attendees.
John, does Woodstock 99 sound like a good time on wheels or what?
Sounds like Limp Bizkit fans are about to get what they deserve. Saturday, July 24th, 8 p.m. Limp Bizkit takes the stage.
As soon as Limp Bizkit's set began, the overall levels of violence and destruction visibly increased, as concertgoers began tearing down various structures and using the plywood to crowd surf. After being approached by festival staff on stage, Fred Durst paused the show to address the crowd as follows. Quote,
"They want to ask us to ask you to mellow out a little bit. They say too many people are getting hurt. Don't let anybody get hurt, but I don't think you should mellow out. Mellowing out, that's what Alanis Morissette had you motherfuckers do. If someone falls, pick 'em up."
Unsurprisingly, things reached a fever pitch during the performance of the song Break Stuff. In the midst of that song's breakdown, Durst again addressed the crowd, saying, quote,
"Time to reach deep down inside and take all that negative energy and let that shit out of your fucking system. You got girl problems, you got boy problems, you got parent problems, you got boss problems, you got job problems, you got a problem with me, you got a problem with yourself. It's time to take all that negative energy and put it the fuck out."
The result? Utter fucking chaos. Fans breaking shit and punching each other. People getting crushed. Festival employees evacuating their posts for fear of being hurt or killed. Sexual assaults. Eventually, the festival was forced to mute Durst's microphone so that the medical staff could begin attending to the many injured attendees. John, I think that you and I can both agree that Clusterfuck of Epic Proportions is indeed a fairly accurate assessment of these events which we have herein described, no?
People are so just dumb.
And herein, perhaps, we view the dark side of nu metal. Anger begetting more anger. The disaffected taking it out on everything within reach. And the anthem of that disaffected dark side, well, it simply has to be the song Break Stuff. A tune which is so damn indelible that my 13-year-old daughter puts it on regularly in our car in the year 2025. This was the tune that more than any other incited the patrons of Woodstock 99 to act like absolute fucking monsters. It was Friedrich Nietzsche who said, "When you gaze long into the abyss gazes also into you." John, let's us gaze into the abyss now and see how it goes! Break Stuff. Limp Bizkit. Listening break time, people. We'll be right back.
Brief vignettes celebrating 3 classic 90s nu metal debut albums.
Indeed. We are now going to take just a moment before our grand finale in order to celebrate 3 particularly significant nu metal debut albums from the 1990s. John, I'll let you handle the introductory vignettes, and then I will add my always insightful commentary before we move on. Alrighty, let's go.
On April 15th, 1997, Sevendust, a band hailing from Hotlanta, Georgia, released their self-titled debut. Although it emerged into a climate of utter indifference, selling just 310 copies in its first week, the album eventually would certify gold, and Sevendust would go on to separate themselves from the pack as one of the most interesting and unique bands in nu metal.
Sevendust are a very cool band. They always had one foot in the post-grunge aesthetic of the late 90s, with the other firmly planted in nu metal. They also benefit from having one of the genre's best vocalists, LeJohn Witherspoon. Now, John, would it be okay if I were to start calling you LeJohn from this point on? I think that'd be nice.
It would not be okay. You may not do that.
I see. Anywho, I included their first single, Black, on the nu metal megamix I provided you. The lyrics say, "I look in the mirror, I don't like what I see. Oh God, can't you help me get out of here? I feel like I'm living deep in hell. Hell, 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 hell. I feel like these lyrics might really resonate with you. Did you enjoy your brief dalliance with Sevendust and your fellow LeJohn?
No.
This band sounds totally different than those other bands. You hated this too?
Eric, for the 5th time, every single aspect of every single track. Shit.
It's fine. It's great. I like Sevendust. I think they are a cool band. They don't sound like the 7 trillion KORN and Limp Bizkit imitators that comprise so much of 90s nu metal. Good band, good album. Also a fun fact. The debut was produced by Twisted Sister members Mark Mendoza and JJ French. An old metal reference in the very midst of this nu metal episode. Now, John, how fun is that?
No one is having fun.
I'm having a great time. Anyway, well, Sevendust are a very good band. It would be these next 2 bands, really, who would point the way forward for heavy metal in the early 21st century.
System of a Down, everyone's favorite Armenian-American nu metal superstars, first came together in Glendale, California in 1994. They rounded into their classic lineup in 1997 and released what Eric describes as, quote, truly extraordinary.
See? It's a quote. Everybody knows that it's me who's describing it that way and not you, John.
Right. Self-titled debut album on June 30th, 1998.
Now, for the record, said classic lineup consists of Serge Tankian, lead vocals, keyboards, Darren Malakian, guitar vocals, Shavo Odegian, bass backing vocals, and John Dolmayan, drums. These fine fellows utterly rule, and I do think that System of a Down are, if not the best, the very most interesting of the nu metal bands. Their synthesis of traditional Armenian music and metal is super cool, and they are especially witty and wacky for a metal band, which stands out in particularly sharp relief amongst the self-serious angst of most of the nu metal crowd. John, I provided you with System of a Down's first single, The Utterly Wonderful Sugar. How could you have hated that song? It's so good!
I was so pissed off that any attempt at humor just made me want to punch these people in the face. Just this absolutely shit house singing, bad music, and then, ooh, something about kombucha. Fuck you, fuck this, fuck it all. I hated it.
Yikes! The kombucha mushroom people, sitting around all day. Who can believe you? Who can believe you? Let your mother pray. Sugar. Sugar. John, I think you need something sweet in your life. And I think that's what they're trying to tell you.
I have a lovely pastry waiting for me when we finish this goddamn thing. So let's hurry it up. What's next?
Well, for the record, System of a Down, they're a fucking delight, despite what John has to say. And eventually, on the strength of their 6 times platinum mega hit sophomore album from 2001, Toxicity, they were to become one of the biggest heavy metal bands of the early 21st century. But that's a story for another time. Now, speaking of the biggest heavy metal bands of the early 21st century,
Slipknot, hailing from Des Moines, Iowa, would quickly emerge as one of the heaviest heavy hitters of 21st century metal. This 9-member collective of horror-masked jumpsuit-wearing anonymous monstrosities emerged fully formed with their masterful self-titled debut, released on June 29, 1999. The album was produced by nu metal guru Ross Robinson.
Slipknot is a band that has sold over 30 million albums worldwide and is big enough to have founded their own semi-annual heavy music festival, Knotfest. We are obviously going to need to eventually devote some serious episode time to this gaggle of gremlins. As such, for now I have just 2 quick questions for you, LeJohn. 1. Did you enjoy the Slipknot track I put on your playlist, Wait and Bleed?
Eric, you want to guess? You want to guess if I enjoyed the track, Eric? Do you think I liked the track, Eric?
I don't think you liked it.
Hey, I didn't like it. That's correct.
Yeah, good. We're on the same page. That's nice. 2. Could you give our audience, please, a real thrill And in the newest installment of everybody's favorite HM 101 episode segment, wherein John looks at a picture of something and responds to it on this entirely auditory medium that is our podcast, could you, John, take a look at the photograph of the band Slipknot circa 1999, which I am about to provide, and please tell the audience what you see, and most importantly, what you feel. What you feel. What you feel.
All right, so what we have here are, just doing some quick math, 9 people.
Whew, big band.
In red jumpsuits. It appears that on their right side, they all have a number and different numbers.
Good.
And then on the left side, they have a sort of stylized S that I assume is the band's logo. And there doesn't appear to be anything else except maybe there's something on the front of the jumpsuits. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see because they're all sort of bending over. They are all wearing different, upsetting-looking masks. I would say the least upsetting is just a traditional gas mask. The most upsetting is probably the one just behind the gas mask, which appears to be some sort of like a zombie dead face, but with dreads. There's a guy with a way too long nose. There's just like a freaky black mask with too long hair. There's a guy with just spikes. We got a Deadeye guy. We got some sort of like, I don't know, The Thing meets a just like wolf tossed in acid type thing on the back. There's a clown who's pretending to shoot the Deadeye guy in the head. That's not great. Clowns are creepy. And then we just got someone over here who has kind of like a face mask on the far left that just looks bad. It's all like not pleasant to look at, but it is like a weirdly beautiful day outside. So they like, it seems like they want to be spooky, but it just, the weather's too happy for them to look spooky.
Like they were probably having a nice time, just hanging out.
Yeah.
Enjoying the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Slipknot. Important stuff. Don't worry, friends. There will be more Slipknot down the road. I promise. John, I promise you that. For now, I will just note by way of transition that Wait and Bleed got Slipknot a Grammy nomination for Best Metal Performance in 2001. However, they lost out to the Deftones and their song Elite. And that fact, rather neatly, brings us to our new metal grand finale.
The best new metal band of all the new metal bands, Deftones.
John. Deftones are a magnificently rare phenomenon in that they are a band who nearly 40 years after their formation in Sacramento, California in 1988 are as popular as ever. Maybe even more so. The kids these days, they love them. My daughter was recently showing me an app that lets you look at all of your friends' playlists, and Deftones, of all bands, popped up on multiple 2025 8th grader playlists. Wow! Lala J. I like that one. That's good. We might have to keep that one. Surely, you'll agree that this says something about something.
Sure. It says something.
Kids these days, they're loving Deftones. It's a band that spans generations.
Okay.
Now, were you at all familiar with Deftones prior to today?
Nope.
Never heard of them.
I've heard the name of the band. I couldn't tell you a single bit of music.
Okay. A great band, an amazing band. Some people call them the Radiohead of nu metal, or even the Radiohead of heavy metal generally. They're that damn impressive. I love them. Freaking love Deftones. The founding members of Deftones were singer Chino Moreno, guitarist Stephen Carpenter, and drummer Abe Cunningham. Bassist Chi Chang, rest in peace, joined up in 1990, and they eventually added Frank Delgado on both keyboards and turntables in 1999. That lineup is mostly the same today, although Chi Chang passed away in 2013, and Sergio Vega, who replaced him, left the band in 2021. These days, they work with bassist Fred Sablin, though he is not an official member. Now, John, you are a bassist. Maybe you could give these dudes a call and see if they're looking for someone to join up full time, no?
No.
All right. Long story short, Deftones began life as a high school band, but by 1993 had gotten themselves signed to a record deal. Which brings us to
October 3rd, 1995, Deftones released their debut, Adrenaline, which was produced by frequent Pantera collaborator Terry Date.
Though, it must be noted that ye olden godfather of nu metal himself, Ross Robinson, did produce the album's hidden bonus track, Fist. We just can't get away from that motherfucker, can we?
We could. We don't have to listen to any of this.
You feel like you and Ross Robinson wouldn't aesthetically see eye to eye as the godfather of nu metal and the godfather of...
I'm confident we would aesthetically hate each other.
What are you the godfather of?
Bitterness?
Are you a godfather? Do you have any godchildren?
No.
Yeah.
No, I notoriously strongly dislike kids.
And God.
Yeah.
And fathers.
Yeah, fuck dads. No, what am I, a nu metal person? I come from a healthy family. I have solved my problems the normal way. With alcohol. Fucking weirdos.
Adrenaline is a great album, and while it isn't as legendary as that which was to come, it is a very, very good debut. It took a while for that album to catch fire, though it did manage to certify gold in 1999 and eventually platinum as of 2008. Now, John, I think that we can agree that this album was your proverbial grower rather than shower, right?
I will not agree on that.
Now, how about you, John? Are you a grower or a shower?
You can fuck right off. You can absolutely fuck right off. You are pushing the limits today, buddy. Let me tell you.
Now, I did not include anything from Adrenaline on your playlist, so as to leave room for material from two of the finest nu metal albums of all the nu metal albums. John, why don't you introduce those fine slabs of state-of-the-art, circa the end of the millennium, metal goodness?
According to Eric, two of the finest nu metal albums of all the nu metal albums are Around the Fur, which was released on October 28th, 1997, and White Pony, released on June 20th, 2000.
Fun fact! One of the things that first drew me to my future wife was the fact that she had an Around the Fur poster up in her college bedroom. John, would you agree that wives having good taste in music is an important thing?
Sure.
Ooh, you seem not entirely sure.
I don't know that I care. I mean, I wouldn't want to listen to this, so, like, I wouldn't have married your wife.
That'd be awesome if Natalie was, like, super into Deftones. Oh, Natalie listening to Limp Bizkit, like, all the time when you get home from work and shit. That'd be amazing.
I think we probably would not have been able to be married if that were the case.
So you can agree.
So I guess, yes, I agree with this statement.
Excellent. Around the Fur featured two iconic singles. My Own Summer, Shove It, and Be Quiet and Drive, Far Away. I quite enjoy both, but prefer the former, which I put onto your playlist. This is a tune which our good friends at Rolling Stone magazine described as, quote, a masterclass in tension building. What do you think, John? Was this song indeed a masterclass in tension building? Did Rolling Stone finally get something right?
As always, Rolling Stone again proves they're fucking morons. This song was a masterclass in nothing. It sucked ass.
Well, I disagree, but at the same time, Rolling Stone batting 1,000 on stupidity, it kind of warms my heart, so I'll allow it. Around the Fur hit number 29 on the Billboard charts and eventually certified platinum, establishing Deftones as a truly up-and-coming band with a very distinctive take on nu metal aesthetics. However, it would be their extraordinary third album which would break the band and which also, at long last, would bring them to my attention as a young adult just beginning to heroically forge my path through a brave but uncertain new century.
June 20th, 2000. Deftones release White Pony. White Pony. White Pony.
They sure did. I mean, We already said that, but I wanted to remind everybody of that date, because even before that, on May 16th, Deftones released the album's first single, Change, in the House of Flies. This song instantly hooked me upon its release, and I have been a huge fan ever since. White Pony was the first album on which Deftones featured a full-time turntablist and keyboardist, the aforementioned Frank Delgado, and they expanded their sonic palette considerably on that album. And it was really fucking good. John, I included Change in the House of Flies on your playlist. Can you tell me why you're such a stupid fuck that you didn't like that amazing song?
Yeah, I actually found this one just boring. I just found it utterly uninteresting in any way.
So, Deftones' shoegaze aesthetic does not do anything for you.
No.
But you like some of the other stuff.
No.
All right. Okay, I think I'm getting it. We'll circle back at the end. To my mind, this was a song and an album that elevated nu metal to high art. John disagrees, but John is a fart head.
I watched you change into a fly. I looked away, you were on fire. I watched a change in you, it's like you never had wings. Now you feel so alive, I've watched you change. I took you home, set you on the glass. I pulled off your wings, then I laughed.
Whew! That's some stuff. John, isn't that some stuff? That's beautiful poetry. It's very affecting.
Those are words, yes. Do I find them strong, moving, compelling, interesting, meaningful? No.
I think that Chino Moreno's lyrics are always quite strong, and I think that this is a really good example of what he does. There's an elegant, affecting simplicity on display here. That said, Chino and the boys do it much better than John or I can, so let's us take our final listening break. Lala J and I will begin the process of winding things down and signing us off on the other side. Such a great song! Such a great album. Anyone who thinks they don't like nu metal should sit down with this album and give it some serious consideration. And a lot of people did that at the time. White Pony would eventually make it all the way to number 3 on the Billboard charts and certified double platinum. John, I purchased one of those copies myself. What about you?
No.
You gonna buy one now?
No.
You just probably stream it. I get it. Well, I don't know about you, good buddy, but I learned all sorts of new things today. How about you, LeJohn? Did you have a good time today, or what?
I'm so mad. I am, genuinely angry. I hate this.
The power of nu metal. It's here on display.
I'm a happy person.
Well, that's going to be my ringtone. Before we sign off, could you please remind the nice listeners of how they might go about supporting us and our spiritually uplifting, cathartic adventures in podcasting?
Hey, you can support the Heavy Metal 101 podcast by rating and or reviewing us wherever you listen to podcasts, sharing links and episodes with friends or loved ones, or by joining our Patreon page for just $3 a month.
Patreon.com/HeavyMetal101.
Additionally, you can always reach out to us with questions or comments via email or on social media. The links are in the episode notes. And let me tell you, while my happiness doesn't matter, nothing makes Eric happier than getting those messages from you.
So true. So true. Reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, everybody. You people are the best. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Kwezi Kwanzaa, and a Joyeux New Year. We'll all be back together again for more heavy metal tomfoolery in 2026. Until then, I leave you with these parting words.
Should all the greatest be forgot and never brought to light? Should all the greatest be forgot and all they've done? Will they side by soul? for all the anxiety. We'll take a cup of kindness in for all the anxiety.